Now, I'm talking about the team out of Canada that has the best chance to win the Stanley Cup when they begin play in 2021. Here's mine. Are you ready? The Calgary Flames.
Whoa.
How about that?
I know, it hurts. I hate the Calgary Flames. They got Jacob Markstrom, the best goalie in free agency, and the Calgary Flames have learned some very painful, valuable lessons the last 2 playoff years. They're climbing the mountain. Calgary Flames are Canada's best team. Change my mind.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Why'd you have to air that?
Whoops.
Did you notice the Calgary Flames are 6th in the Scotia North Division today?
It's a long season. No, it's not a long season.
Funny you say that. Oh, and what a way to open Flame Tech Football Friday. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to your favorite sports talk show. Judging by the numbers, we're soon to become North America's daytime sports talk show. Forget about Canada's sports talk show, but that's okay.
That's okay.
And the Vancouver Canucks have won 6 of 8. So we're 2 games past the midway point, by the way, for most teams. Ish. Yeah. 30 games in the National Hockey League. Oh, you guys. I don't think the Flames are going to finish number 1, but it might be the Edmonton Oilers.
It might be.
So anyways, look, coming up on the program today, I'm excited. We have our Director of Scouting, Craig Smith, 2-time Grey Cup champion. I said to him, Smitty, what do you want to talk about? I very rarely do that with our guests, but because you can talk about so much with him, I just thought, Smitty, what do you want? Some NFL stuff? Huh? And he's like, no, I want to talk CFL, XFL stuff. And I'm like, hot damn, so does everybody else. That still hasn't gone away. But he does have some NFL notes, too. And Micah Alway, very interesting. Ottawa Red Blacks linebacker, watches us every day from Texas, Galveston, Texas. He said he's got a lot of things on his mind. And he tweeted this morning that he's coming on today's show. So for all his friends to tune in, because he's going to be on, he's got something to say. I have no idea what he wants to say. The suspense is killing me.
I know, just to give him the floor.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Good morning to all of our friends, new and old. Ryan Foisey, watching on Facebook, says Demko is playing unbelievably good for Vancouver in March. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says Rod said that about the Flames with such glee. No, I don't want them. I want them to finish first because I picked them to finish first. And they still might. Because we got a half a season to go, but something's going to change, right?
Yep.
And who said it here? Andrew Grigg watching on YouTube. How about that? It's going to be our new hashtag, I think.
I know.
And get over it.
That and get over it. Those are the 2 hashtags, yes. So start adding that to your lingo.
We did have an NHL scout come up. He and I went down in between periods of the hockey game the other night, the Pats-Broncos game. And one of those NHL scouts, who will remain nameless but is probably watching right now, pulled you aside first and said he's going to buy the T-shirt. You tell the story.
When the shirt's there, he's like, I'll buy one of those shirts. I say that all the time. Get over it. Get over it.
But he was watching the show.
But he was watching the show. Well, he knew the shirts, yeah.
All right, so Director Jordan's finger is hovering over the horn. Let's hit it. The Quick Six Show topic horn. Thank you, Director Jordan. Number 1, Thursday's NHL leftovers, because the rest of the show is ball for all. But here on the Quick Six, we're going to talk about last night's NHL leftovers, and here they are. Boy, I've tweeted a lot this morning. Here we go. I'm hoping these are the real Edmonton Oilers. They finished first overall in Canada last year, and they pulled into a tie with Duke's Leafs last night with 40 points, right?
Yeah.
With their win over the Winnipeg Jets. So for Edmonton, I hope this is you. Stay there. It seems like they learned a lesson from the Leafs on how to play defense, and they got goaltending last night against a high-octane Winnipeg offense. So, yeah. The Mass Mutual East division is my second favorite division. I'm sorry. Number 1 is the Canadian division. Number 2, Mass Mutual East. And it's because it's a party every night. Flyers, Rangers, Penguins, Capitals.
Oh, yeah.
The Sabres are the train wreck we can't take our eyes off of. They make a coaching change and still lose, as our friend Ryan McCarthy is watching in Albany, New York. He said that first. Sabres make a coaching change, still lose. How about that?
I know.
But I'm telling you, my Vegas Golden Knights, who didn't play last night, they reside in the Honda West division, but that division's not that interesting to me. And neither, for that matter, is the Discover Central division. So my top 2 divisions are Scotia North and the Mass Mutual East.
Well, in that East division, it's such rabid hockey markets, too, like around the East. It's so good.
It's great hockey.
Yeah.
Zegras and Drysdale scored their first career goals for the Anaheim Ducks last night on the pond, and it looks like they're still last place in the division, but I think Anaheim's going to be just fine. And Drysdale and Zegras are going to be pushing our friends Sam Steele and Josh Mahura for ice time and depth chart positioning, and it looks like things are coming along there. How about Columbus? They won last night, and Eunice Corposello, he's a highlight machine.
Oh, yeah.
He's a highlight machine. I don't know where Columbus would be without their goaltender. And the last one is the Avalanche have figured it out. That game last night, Colorado-Minnesota, was a huge matchup of 2 games on a win streak, and the Avs schooled them to the tune of 5-1. Moving on. Top 5, bottom 5 time. The NHL didn't come out with their power rankings yet from NHL.com, so I came up with my own. So here they are, the top 5, bottom 5. Top 5 in the National Hockey League are 1, Tampa Bay, 2, Washington Capitals. They're on a roll, and they lead the division. Number 3, the Carolina Hurricanes. Despite their loss last night, they're still all that. Number 4, Canada's team, the Vegas Golden Knights. They've played less games than everybody else. So just because their point total isn't right up there doesn't mean they're not as good. And, of course, number 5, the New York Islanders, which 1 month ago was in the bottom 5. Remarkable turnaround. Are you ready for the bottom 5?
Yeah.
Here we go. Number 27 in the NHL, Anaheim Ducks. Number 28, the Ottawa Senators. Number 29, the New Jersey Devils. The 30th team, the Detroit Red Wings. Sorry, Darnell from Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions. That's your team, I know. And number 31, no surprise, the Buffalo Sabres. I'm not going to be cute like the Hockey News and throw the Seattle Kraken in there better than Buffalo. That was good, but I can't steal that one. That was very good.
That was good.
Any arguments with any of those dupes?
No, I think that's pretty good. Pretty bang on.
That's not all based on points or even specifically winning percentage. It takes into account winning streaks, losing streaks, all the rest.
Who's the best right now?
Who's the best right now? And it's the Tampa Bay Lightning. And the worst is the Buffalo Sabres. Moving on, point 3. Last I saw, 27,000 views of Tim Micallef's soliloquy on the CFL. I don't know if you watched it. 9 minutes is a little long for a squirrel like me. So I did move forward on the bar to the end where Tim Micallef said it might be too late for the CFL. He would spend 8 minutes on how much he loves the CFL for the same reasons we all do. And then at the end, Tim Micallef, the former voice of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, good friend of mine who's been on this show before, saying it might be too late for the CFL. I'm sorry. We all love all these things that make the Canadian Football League great, but it looks like it's over. Who else has been saying that? But I'm a jerk because I've been saying it for weeks, but Micallef says it. What did you watch the video?
I seen it.
What was your take on that take? Because Lawless has joined the train too. It was over a week ago he joined this show and said the CFL is great, but it's not sustainable. 3 Down Nation just picked it up, and now that's going wild. So where are you? I'm just wondering on those guys. The similarity between Gary Lawless, Tim Micallef, and me is that none of our livelihoods depend on the Canadian Football League, but all 3 of us love it. And I just feel like we look at it a little more objectively than those that are getting a paycheck in the CFL or whose livelihoods depend on the CFL. That's all.
If I was summarizing all of them, it feels like I think it's dead. I really don't want to admit this. I really want to hang on and I want it to survive, but I think the way it's always been and what we've always loved is done, and we better get ready for the next one, whatever it is. And hopefully a lot of the things we love can continue in the next version, but we have to, it feels like a really turning of the page, and we all are finally admitting that it's going to happen here, even if we don't want it to. That's what it feels like. It feels like that moment of acceptance.
And in the meantime, I've moved on. I'm tired of having Twitter wars with people that would say, no, damn it, I'd rather the league fold than change. Well, I think you're going to get your wish. So I have other things that I'm worried about. I'm moving on. When the reincarnation of the CFL comes back and you want to use our promotional and marketing channels, I'm all for it. But if you want to keep banging your head against the wall and pounding that square peg into a round hole, go ahead. But I'm not gonna be part of it.
What did I tell you the last weekend when the comments came out and we started getting some of that negative feedback? I said it's kind of like Dad, telling you the tough news you don't want to hear. And you kick your feet and you throw stuff against the wall and you slam your door and you go in your room for a while. And, days, weeks, hours, months, whatever it is later, you realize he was just doing what's best for me.
Yep.
But in the moment, you can't. I hate you, right? And
I can take it.
yeah.
I can take it. From Jack Fulton, watching in Vulcan, Alberta, he says, howdy to Rock and Roddy, Moose DuPont, Crazy Clark, John Frenzy. Football Friday from the sweatpants capital of Canada. RP show, Rod Squad rocks. From Jack. He got it all in there. Patrolman Pete, watching in Winnipeg. He says, the CFL isn't dead. It just needs to change because it's clear it can't count on the support of its 3 largest and most important markets. You can word it however you want. Merger, change, whatever, changes are coming. And I wouldn't be as confident with the ledge that I've gone out, the limb that I've gone out on, if it wasn't for Dave Naylor just dropping little snippets on his Twitter.
I know.
Like, Naylor knows more than anybody is the sense that I get. And he's like, merger's coming. I wouldn't be so sure they're not going to change everything. Right? Wake up and smell the coffee. What else? John Kirby in Edmonton. Rod, I'll believe those reports, including yours, when it's officially said by Randy and the CFL. Until then, it's all speculation. Reports of what? Open your eyes. The league's not playing, John. What do you want to hear? And by the way, Ambrosie's not saying anything. And I like it. He dropped that stink bomb and walked away.
Yeah. And
left it for everybody else to deal with. But people don't necessarily believe what Randy said when he said, we're talking about talking. This is just the start of a relationship. What did Tim Micallef say in that? Go find it on Tim and Sid's, or whatever they're calling it now, Tim Micallef's personal. You go look. He doesn't believe that this is all new. He doesn't believe the commissioner when he said, we're just talking about talking. Micallef said they're long ways down the road in these collaborative talks. And for whatever reason, they don't want to tell you that. What are you getting mad at me for? Oh, yeah, wait. They don't want to hear the truth. The same thing we say all the time.
Right.
But again, I can take it. We've got to move on. Point 4, Dub Hub here in the sweatpants capital last night. It's a god shot that the Western Hockey League's playing right here in the sweatpants capital. It really is, right?
Oh, yeah.
A couple of games yesterday. Moose Jaw lost for the first time. The Moose Jaw Warriors schooled by the Winnipeg Ice 5-3. And Swift Current Broncos lost. They've lost 22 in a row. I know that's not the biggest. Well, it's big news to the people that it's big news, too. We have to talk about that. And there was no games in the Quebec League last night, but while the Oilers and Jets were in a very entertaining game last night, I was watching the Tri-City Americans, Portland Winterhawks. I guess I turned it off before the streaming problems happened because I had a lovely feed watching my good friend Craig Westy, the Chris Berman of hockey, call that game. So tomorrow night is our next game, Dupes and I, on Access Now TV, Pats and the Brandon Wheat Kings. So hockey's been good.
That's what I miss, guys like that coming through the building and getting the chats.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
And I had a good text back and forth with Mike Benton after our call last night, so that was fun. They're playing hockey.
I'm glad you brought that up. And Paul Figler's watching from the Dub Network. Here's the thing, the difference. Like I say to Darren, it's great that he and I are in business together because we see everything the same way, but we're not the same. I get the sense that you love meetings because you're calling meetings all the time. So you must be. It's okay if you do.
Yes and no. One of the things I'm trying to do, and I've gotten really good at, is taking hour meetings and half-hour meetings, making them 15 minutes and 10 minutes. I've done really a good job of that. But no, last night we had our Dub Network meeting, and called it a meeting, but trying to create that team unity, right? That sense of team. We got a great team here. Now we got a great team at the Dub Network too, which they've always had. But
my point is, we had a Zoom call last night with all the writers across the Western Hockey League, and I'm getting sick of Zoom calls. We're all on a lot of Zoom calls. I do my recovery work on Zoom calls too, right?
Yeah.
But I'm sitting there going, oh, another Zoom, and then you get on there, And it's hockey guys and gals from Portland to Winnipeg and everywhere in between. And we're just talking about hockey. And what are you hearing about the potential of the playoffs? How's the hockey been? What are the stories? I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And we never did this before. We never had the chance.
No.
I want to see those guys and gals.
You know what's
right?
What's funny, and I heard this, was they talked about Zoom calls and stuff. Skype had a 15-year head start and just completely dropped the ball in all of this, right? Nobody's using Skype. And we could have been doing Zoom calls for the last 10 years. Took a pandemic for us to do it, and sometimes it's really great.
If you're on a Zoom call, make sure when it's over, you leave the meeting or turn your laptop down, because we had a guy the other day that geared down. Thought he was off and wasn't. It happened. What are you going to do?
It happened.
I'm just telling you. Hey, free advice. You're welcome. Alan Hordell writes in, he says, Roddy on the Rod Pedersen Show has stated that in his opinion that the CFL could be done. I agree with him. And my 55 years of experience around the league, I agree. Hope Rod will give his idea for the replacement, if any. No. Not my job. Not my job. I got that guy in Phoenix. Is it Mr. Lutzi? His grandpa played for the Calgary Stampeders. He sent me this plan for the CFL. This, 30 points long yesterday. I'm like, no, don't send it to me. Send it to the commissioner. Send it to the Canadian Football League. It's not my job. I'm not making a plan for them. They don't think there's anything wrong. I'm not wasting my time. Yes? No,
Yeah.
we got to move.
We got to move.
Smitty coming in here. Point 5, NFL free agency notes and the TV deal. We don't have time to get into it here, but wow. $10 billion a year for the National Football League. Obviously, they knew this was coming with the $70 million contract next season for one Dakota Prescott and $45 million for Patrick Mahomes. They knew it was coming, obviously, when they were signing these deals. And point 6, we are in a March Madness bracket with the boys down in Philly. Dan, the Situation Saravelli, has invited us all. They watch our show down there in Philly on Game Plus TV. They've invited us into their March Madness bracket. And lo and behold, Darren and I had the same teams meeting in the final. Gonzaga and Baylor.
What a face-off. Because I picked,
Yeah.
and then randomly I picked Baylor and you picked Gonzaga. So I hope they meet in the final. That'll be great.
And Clark's telling me that he's got Illinois. And they're on the east side, right? So they would meet. Have you got Gonzaga too? Look at us talking like we actually have been following college basketball all year.
I was the stereotypical filling out my bracket, looking at their percentage of free throws, and I'm looking at their records being, oh yeah, they're going to win. I know, really big Gonzaga fan here. Haven't watched a lick.
We got a roll from J-Rod. He's watching. He says, hey, Rod, that Houston Texans shirt is it on sale from the dumpster fire? Team issued, man. Mm-hmm. You give it to me for free. I'll wear it. Team issued. And, yeah. The Argos were saying last week, hey, you like our gear? Come buy it. I'm buying it. There are people giving us gear for free left and right. Right? This has been the warm-up for the Four Seasons Sports Palace, your home for the NHL, UFC, and Regina Pats hockey. Our director of scouting, one of our most popular panelists, joins us next, and John Frenzy. See you in a while, Dupes.
See you later.
You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV Network, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports talk streaming for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.